Hi everybody, welcome back to Teentsy Vintage. Today we're doing an art process video using the cardstock that I sopped up some ink with in my last video. It's going to be a background for a portrait. So here I am trying to figure out which bits and bobs to use. I've decided on this young lady, and now I'm just trying to figure out what pieces are going to go around her, behind her, etc. And I really love the idea of some dictionary pages. I also like the idea of some numbers, so we're going to use these stamps to just put some random numbers down in the background. Out 148 for the first one. These are just whatever numbers I peeled off the sheet. Going to use some Archival ink in watering can. This is my favorite gray ink. It is just right. It is the best in the sense of it is a medium gray or a light black, which sometimes you want a light black, something that isn't too harsh and doesn't give a whole lot of contrast. All right, so now I've got some numbers in the background. I'm going to do my layout again, see what works. This little piece I thought was too small, so we're going to go to the dictionary and get another piece, half a page basically, and use a bigger piece of dictionary paper and just tear that out and use our matte gel medium to glue down these two pieces of dictionary page and lightly cover the top as well. Cut off the extra. And I've got a really cool die cut here, I believe from Paper Rose. And the gel medium is a really nice thing to use here. It won't mess up the delicate edges of this die cut. So now I want to make sure that everything is nice and dry. Okay, now we'll check one more time, make sure that my portrait is where I want it to be. Also want to use some kind of little ephemera here. This is a ephemera pack from Tim Holtz called Number Strips. And it is just that. It's just little pieces of paper with numbers, some words. I didn't want to give this lady a number. I wanted to put something there that would add interest. And I ended up going with a date in a purple ink, which I really liked. Do a lot of auditioning here for a minute. And there it is. That's the one we're going to go with. All right. I've got a little piece of scrap paper I'm putting behind it as kind of a border. I'm going to use my glue stick to adhere the number strip to the background. And I'm also going to use it to glue my portrait to the cardstock. We're going to weigh down the portrait with the bottle of matte gel just to make sure it adheres, since there's a lot of texture underneath with the die cut. I'm also using a tiny tool, a Tim Holtz paper distressor, I think it's called. to give it rough edges. And then I'm also using the Archival ink to give it some definition in black, just to help it stand out. I'm going to take the Archival ink and watering can and go around the edges to give them some definition as well. Now I'm going to use some Distress ink in Carved Pumpkin, which is a nice medium orange color. There was some white spots on the page, and I just wanted to kind of fill them in with some more color. I felt like the orange and yellow worked together really well. I made sure to water down the orange to make it very translucent or transparent. And I'm just going over some of the dictionary page and going around the edges mostly to just add some interest to the page. And of course, we're going to dry it, make sure everything is nice and dry. The nice thing about these paper dolls is that they're very sturdy, so they don't tend to curl the way a photograph would under the heat gun. There I am adding my date stamp, and I'm also going in with a Stabilo Marksol pencil in black to give a little more definition to my portrait. And we'll just put the signature on there and it's all done. That's it. Thanks for watching.